Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I know it's a midday update today, as sometimes will happen, especially in these scenarios where we need to gather more of the data that's been rolling in, especially around that 12:30. Thank you, Daylight Saving Time, for helping us out with that. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to a special edition of Storm Talk, as we are, of course, gearing up for at least an active night tonight for some part of the area. I don't think all areas are going to be under the gun on the severe side. I think it'll be in phases. And then as we head into tomorrow, a much more of an issue of impacts, whether it's going to be with strong thunderstorms, heavy rain, whatever the case may be. Just in general, impactful weather is coming our way. It's really going to stay that way until Sunday. Sunday afternoon will calm things down. It will be a chilly day on Sunday, but a good nap day to relax, especially if your nerves are shot from all the thunderstorms. All right, so I'm already looking at your comments that are flying on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Where else? I see one. I think Twitter. I think I mentioned that. Been seeing your comments fly up. That's where you can chat with me if you're watching the streaming. Unfortunately, I can't see your comments otherwise. I know you're already asking, when's this going to arrive? How much is it going to be? How much snow on my street? You know, those kind of questions always come up. I promise you, I'm going to do my best. You guys know that's what we do. We're going to try to do our best here to give you a street by street, maybe not mailbox to mailbox, detailed outlook, but close. It will be close. All right, so let's start with where we are now, and then, as always, we'll dive into this in a chronological order, and that's important to look at this in phases as we evolve through the rest of the day today and into your Saturday. So we'll begin with what I think is, the positive news, and that's a nice day outside. We got high-level clouds streaming overhead. These are not anything that's going to produce rain yet. And they're not doing a whole lot to block out the sun, although they are blocking out more of the sun than yesterday. So it is slowing thermometers down just a smidge. But we still got some ground to make up here. We got mid-70s in central Kentucky, Louisville at 73. As you'll see on the satellite, once this batch of clouds moves out of the way, then we'll see how close do we get to the record of 83 today. Or 82, excuse me. Thinking about 84. We'll see. It's only 12:50 with dry air and gusty winds. And when these clouds move out of the way, trust me, I've seen big jumps that have happened before in that scenario. So never say never until it doesn't matter later in the day. But even if we don't hit it, it is such a nice warm day out there. Okay, so here's the satellite showing the clouds. I mentioned they're kind of draped over us. High level clouds overall. They're just in a bad spot. They're right over our sensors, over our airports. So that's the reason why some of these numbers are varying a bit. But they're moving quickly to the north and to the east. So where is the storm in question that's coming our way? Well, the first part of it is just now starting to develop. Remember, as we said all week, this is a two-parter ordeal. You can't even see the second part because it hasn't even formed. So this is the first part. The center of the low is about here, right on the edge of my pen. Well, actually, let me just go ahead and scoot over. Let me just scoot on over there. There we go. Look at that spin. That is a very deep low pressure that is just digging right there into the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. And this is already the reaction of a line of showers and thunderstorms. Will this be the main severe line? It may not be. Conditions are not exactly ready yet for severe weather into St. Louis and Illinois. But this secondary line that is right now just a batch of clouds in Oklahoma City, that one could be the main line. We'll see how they play out for this afternoon. But fuel is building. There's no doubt about that. We're able to track the increase in not only moisture levels, but in the Cape. The fuel has been building. This is low in Cape because, again, it's not gold. It's in the red. So it's a low end value. But it does, more than anything, show you how everything's being pulled off of the Gulf right into Missouri and Illinois, right? And yeah, into Kentucky, but we're not close to the system, so it doesn't really matter in our case. We don't have a trigger. But they have the trigger ready to go, and they've got the building instability. So this is normal. Early stage stuff. I mean, they may not really see things get going in a big time severe way for it could be another 12 hours, guys. So it's going to be a long day. So that's what I want you guys to enjoy today. I know it's going to be windy and warm out, but enjoy today before we get into the mess tonight. Here's the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. This came out 50 or 20 minutes, 22 minutes ago. Didn't really change a whole lot. Still has the avocado look. Where you got the moderate risk, that's level 4. Again, high risk is level 5, the highest you can go. We get on, I believe the average is maybe 2 or 3 a year that we can see. Not here personally or our area, but anywhere in the country. They do happen. This one right now, I haven't seen a lot of data that makes me think that this is going to go up to a high risk. We'll see the data because of daylight saving time. Everything's slower to arrive, so we're just kind of playing catch up this time of day and trying to catch all the models. Some of them are still running from the morning data. They're just taking their sweet time. We wait for another frame to come in, and another frame to come in. It's painfully slow. And that's why I had to move the blog back today, because I was going to show you stuff that was really old this morning, and I didn't want to do that. Okay, so anyway, there's the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. As always, they can break it down, and we will show you some closer views on this. Now, this is the tornado potential. Everyone always clicks on this one, probably first thing. 2 things here, the levels in color. Level, the percentages are your potential to see any type of tornado activity. That's what the percentages are based on. And given the idea that you normally don't see tornadoes down the street, even a 2 to 5% is elevated. It's significant enough to raise your attention. Sometimes you can get even certainly a slight risk, and sometimes even an enhanced risk at that level. So you may think the values are low in the green there, but they're actually elevated, and we are in that elevated spot. Notice that. Red, no doubt, is the prime location that they are focused on, and that's just because of where the jet streak is and begins to split. That creates such a vacuum in that area into Missouri and the Ozarks into Tennessee that the air just rapidly rises right in that point where it splits. So it's all jet stream related. I should have overlaid that, but it's jet stream related. So that's how they know where to put this. You would think they'd be drawing it down into Louisiana right now or way up in Chicago. There's a reason. The jet is a big driver on allowing the right conditions for rotation. So this is the area, the prime spot. Yes, I know that the hatched area is on the map and not too far away from us. The hatched indicating EF2 or stronger could happen 25 miles from any given point you see on that map that's in that zone. And that's, again, 25% is not very, not very high, right? So 25 miles, I should say, you can get a tornado. So that's where, again, that's the worst of it will be Missouri, West Kentucky, and Tennessee. Notice our categories, we are dropping down on the hatches here. Thank goodness. Let's hope that doesn't change. And the categories drop off because it's 2 things happen when you see this map. I feel like I explained this a lot, but some of you are new. I can tell by your comments. Some of you are new. But a lot of these outlooks drop off because of time. They run out of time. These end at 7 a.m. So they automatically just drop down the category because the end of day is hit. They have to stop that map somewhere, right? And then redraw the one for the next day, which I'm about to show you for Saturday. So it gets a little confusing when we are part of the weakening part and the overlap of the new part, which is what we are. That happens a lot here. So that's why I'm trying to explain it, but I don't want to be too confusing. And I don't want you to get too caught up on these outlooks either, because you can see it's a lot. It's a lot, guys. Makes your brain hurt. Straight line wind potential. Oh boy. Well, this is a big one. I mentioned that jet that just flies into the area. Once these thunderstorms get going, I mean, they're going to have a forward motion up to 90 miles per hour. It'll be similar to traveling on the Waterston Expressway at rush hour and somebody passes you. It'll be fast. All right. So that in itself is going to be a big concern for wind damage in that area. When they get going, they're going to produce a lot of wind damage. Yes, tornado potential is there, but the wind damage, I think, is one of the bigger concerns. Notice we do have the hatched area that does go into Louisville. Okay. Well, that's for a good reason. I've said this before as an analogy of like when you are running down a hill, but you want to stop, but you are still going down the hill and you're trying to find a way to stop. The forward motion of you running down the hill is going to win out for a minute until you find a way to slow down. And sometimes it takes you to hit a rock or two, or depends on what kind of shoes you got on. I'm going on a big analogy here. But anyway, you see what I'm trying to say is that it's hard to slow these machines down once they are powered up. So once a straight line wind event gets going, yes, the storm will start to weaken. The top of the storm will start to lower. It starts to just fall apart. But the wind is one of the last things that will fade away. So they put us in the hatched area all the way up to I-65 because they feel, hey, you know what? Yes, the worst of it's in Illinois, but these storms, even as they move into Indiana, this overnight period, they could still be producing wind damage. May not have much lightning left anymore, or even rain for that matter. They'll be collapsing fast, but the wind could still be pretty strong. So that's why we need to watch for the straight line wind potential, even as the storms fade out tonight. I'll show you that a little more on the radar view coming up. And hail potential is certainly there, although I think our hail potential tomorrow, to me, seems like it may be more of an issue. But this is today's outlook featuring areas across the Ozarks, same spots. Notice they put the hatched area of hail down into Mississippi, where it's going to be so warm today under that jet. So a great setup for that. All right, that's all the outlooks for today. Do you want me to stop there or do you want me to keep going? Tiffany, what's that supposed to mean? Michelle, I think he's referring to Brian looking like very Miami Vice today. Okay, see, you guys got to stay on the subject. Stay on the subject here, guys. It's hard to keep up. All right, let's see. Keep going. All right. You guys say keep going. I'll keep going. Fair enough. That's Saturday setup. Let's look at the maps for Sunday. There's the severe risk that is out. Notice a little more angled. This, again, is weird. It is weird because this is not the same system that's coming through tonight and tomorrow. It will already be up in Canada. It's the tail of the system that is right through the Ohio River down to about Nashville is where the tail is, wherever they stop tonight. Now we got a new low pressure that is going to take advantage of that, develop rapidly in the deep south around Louisiana, and track like a locomotive on the train tracks right along where that tail is and head into Ohio. So we have to figure out a couple things here. When these storms do stall and fade out tonight, where do they stop? Because the southern part of that is going to be really sluggish. The center northern portion of the lines I'll show you will likely keep going right into Cincinnati and central Ohio. The southern part of it is going to be very slow to push through Indiana and central Kentucky. And my fear is that that's where it's going to go take its nap. If it does, then that is the zone that we need to watch for storms to redevelop Saturday afternoon. Once we get a little bit of heating, they wake back up, and then they can then produce severe weather rapidly before that low in Mississippi and Alabama moves in and grabs it and scoots all that out of here with a round of heavy rainfall. So our severe risk tomorrow is very conditional on how that will play out tonight. It's a cause and effect for everything we're talking about. One thing affects the next. So if something is off track of everything I've said to you so far, everything I'm about to say to you next will be wrong. So that's why we've got to keep in mind the one-offs on each one of these scenarios that come into play. All right, the severe risk for tomorrow, moderate risk down into Mississippi and Alabama. This could go to a high risk. It could. And I think right now it's in a good spot where they've got it, but I mean, it's possible. I think they probably wouldn't make that decision until tomorrow, but we'll find out in 30 minutes when they update the new round of maps for the deep south. But there's no doubt this is going to be a big issue with tornadoes and a tornado outbreak for the deep south. We will only have to deal with our faded line here. And as the storms, as that low pressure moves north, the leading edge that can have some strong thunderstorm potential with it. And then we should get into a heavy rain scenario. Let me break it down for you on this end. Notice all hatched areas to the south. The hatched on tornado is south of our area. Boy, it's close. It is close. We're basically the same category as we were for Saturday morning. And then straight line wind potential, much more of an issue across areas of the deep south ahead of the low pressure. Again, we don't have that jet that was warring over some Missouri. That's already moved away. So that's why this is a weird one. This is such a back-to-back scenario before. You normally get like 3 days or something to rest before you have to deal with one. These are literally hours apart from happening. So it gets messy. Hail potential. I do think this could get extended a little more north on the hail potential side. That wouldn't surprise me. We'll see if that happens or not as we head into Saturday itself. All right, I'm going to show you a couple of models look at some of your questions real quick, and then I'll get into some of the higher res models. Let me know if I miss you guys on some of your questions. Oh boy, Cameron, her strengthening every run for an ANTS, EHI, or SIG Torva. So Cameron is really really deep into the modeling. If you're wondering what all those acronyms and initials are, I'll try to clear it up for you guys. But Cameron, we'll look at that a little bit more. Ryan Hoke, I'm still rolling over the Miami Vice comment. What's wrong with Miami Vice? I like Crockett. Okay, anyway, let's get right into the modeling. I'm going to show you 2. I could show you 15, but you already seem overwhelmed, so we'll just do 2. Should I do full screen? Yeah, probably. Let's do that. All right, here we go, full screen. You can see we've got the fuel that is in place this afternoon. Again, it's not overly gold, so it's just low-end fuel. As we head into tonight, there's the line, 8:30. Moving into Quincy, Illinois, St. Louis, getting ready for it. We are just dealing with high wind and enjoying our Friday evening. Not bad. All right, it's accelerated. Well, that went too fast, sorry. Let me back it up right there. Okay, here's the line. It begins to approach. Boom, boom, boom. Here we are at midnight. It's in Illinois. Notice, though, that the northern part of this line, as I mentioned, is the one it's moving northeast than it is east. So it's really a threat for Indianapolis and into Cincinnati. We got to keep an eye on West Kentucky. West Kentucky through Evansville. That is what we need to watch. Wet cells through that area can hold on as they track into Breckenridge, Meade, and Harrison County and Washington County overnight. Could they be that slow? This model is really slow with the line. Doesn't really push it through all the way into Louisville, which is interesting. Kind of stalls it very close to us. We could still get a wall of wind, but we had to cut down on our severe potential in Louisville and points east and mainly just keep it all west to 65. I'm kind of looping this back and forth so you guys can see it over and over. Again, this is just one model's idea. All right, so what happens after that? Well, we get into 1 to 2 o'clock. Here comes the rain. More thunderstorms. You can tell the eastern side of the rain at this point Saturday is in a prime spot, as you might suspect. It's going to be warmer on the eastern side versus the western side. We've been rain cooled. So the eastern side has a little more juice to work with. So showers and thunderstorms will likely develop. And then we are interesting that we see another line that wants to try to form early on Sunday morning. But right now, this high-res model is the only one that shows that. So we're not paying much attention to it for now. And then we'll quiet down as we head into Sunday and Monday. Hey, not too bad. All right, now let me show you another high-res model. This is the FE3 model, one of the cams. You guys love the cams. All right, here we go tonight all the way through midnight. Notice that we are dry, windy, and warm. Wind advisories out for starting at 5 o'clock today. Wind gusts up to 40, 45, pretty common. May get a 50 gust, but I think 40 to 45 will be the average. These will likely be either Boeing segments or embedded supercells in the line in Illinois at 12:30 in the morning, if this model's right. All right, we advance it just a bit more, and well, I was going to. Hold on one second. Hold on. It did not. This model, we just got it and ingested into our system. So it sometimes it's friendly to us and sometimes it's not. Okay. So here it is. You can see those cells at 1:30 in the morning. All right, here we go. 4 in the morning. Still got a cellular look to them, right? So we still at 4 in the morning could be talking about severe weather in Bedford and Seymour and Salem, Paoli, Corden. Type 1 if you're in those areas, so I know where you're at. Type 1. Evansville area as well. But look what happens. We get to 5 and then 6:30, and then the rain starts to fade away. Remember, though, that the wind momentum will still be with these storms, so they could still have strong, potentially damaging winds, even with the rain falling apart. All right, so I got a few ones. Got Debbie, Adam, and Blue and Angie. Okay, you're the ones that need to be weather aware tonight. All right, I want you guys to be. We'll make you our ambassadors tonight, right, for all the blogs. You guys keep us updated on what you experience as these storms roll into southern Indiana tonight. Again, when these cells move into Illinois, we need to know We're going to be going by radar data, but the ground truth is everything. So keep us updated on what you experience as these storms move by. Even if the winds are tamer than you expected, that's still something. That tells us something about how well this is verifying. Okay. Then you see the weakening that happens. This is where we get a chance to. I'm hoping we can get a break and go get some Twix and some Cheetos and a Coke Zero, something like that. Kind of relax for a moment. But then we get toward midday, and these cells right there. Let me back it up. The ones that pop around midday to 1 o'clock. These are the ones I'm worried about that could contain some hail and perhaps an isolated tornado. I can't rule it out, but these are the ones that could be severe around 12 to 1 o'clock on Saturday. I'll advance this further now, and you can see that they move out, and then it's mainly just heavy rain with any severe risk, as the other models are showing, well to the east. It also wants to do that line issue, just like the graph did, right? It wants to develop one more line late Saturday, early Sunday. It's kind of a sneaky feature. I don't think it's got much of a power kick to it, but hey, we'll watch that and see how it works. All right, Adam, I know you're in here, and Cameron, you guys love these rotation tracks for the upper helicity markers that we track for sometimes the beginning stages of what could be a tornado, right? It's not new process. It's just new to be available to the public about last year, I believe it was. But it's showing the potential tracks and rotation, Illinois, the Wabash area. Okay, yeah, for Adam, up there in Bloomington, yeah, a little close to you. But we then start to lose them, and then we don't have any more tracks after that. So I'm hoping that holds. I'm hoping that will be the case as we head into Friday night and no one gets overly hurt. All right, let me show you just a complete breakdown of the two waves I just tried to explain. Again, wave one, we've got 80% in at 5 in the morning. Ryan Hulk and I were just discussing, well, do we want to keep it at 80%? If the line falls apart, some may not even get rain out of it. But I think at the moment, it's just an 80% chance of getting at least very strong winds and potential for storms. If there's a marker to be aiming for, if you're going to be an insomniac tonight, which a lot of us will be, that will be the time period. So we may leave it at that just as a mental thing for you guys to know that's the period to watch. There's the small break. I hope we hold on to that break. And there we go with the second round as we head into Saturday and try to get this mess out of here. Total rainfall. Boy, this is going to be tough because we've got the line that moves in and either moves all the way in, or it moves in and falls apart, or doesn't move in and stops in Evansville and just waves at us. And then we got the main low on Saturday that tracks across Kentucky with heavy rainfall. So there's going to be a bit of displacement on how rainfall is going to be distributed out of all this mess. This is not an easy one. So I think it's fair at this point. The maps, the numbers, the colors are all going to change. Every time I update this, they're going to look a little different. I think 1 to 3 inches is possible for anybody right now. 1 to 3 is possible. And obviously, if 1 or 2 of these pieces falls apart that you were expecting, then you can cut down your numbers for what you can expect in your area. All right, let me get right into the 10-day and get to some of your questions here. Hope you're being kind. Let's see. Aaron, what does the significant parameter look like? Very similar to the helicity tracks, mainly west. There's not a significant parameter value that goes over us. So that is good. Let's see. Joyce, what about the Nashville SEC? That's a good question because they're going to be dealing with heavy rain and some severe weather, but I'm thinking right now their issue is going to be more heavy rain and not as much of a tornado outbreak. But that will need to be watched because just south of there in Alabama and Mississippi, it's going to be a rocking and rolling. And if some of those supercells cross over the border and travel north into Tennessee, that could be a game changer. So good question, Joyce. We don't know yet. But we have a team there actually, so we'll be communicating with them and our viewers as well on that. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let's see. My sound keeps going out. That's probably because I keep running away from the mic. Sorry about that. Let's see. Carrie, will the Hokie and Hardhead Comedy Hour be on tonight and tomorrow? As always. They're such goofballs. Okay. Let's see. Todd, tornado watch potential for the area? Pretty likely. I think at least part of the area, maybe for both rounds, we'll get a watch box of some sort. Probably will be tornado watches, but I will let you know. But again, don't get too caught up on that. All right. The warnings, pay attention to the warnings. The watches are, you kind of know. A watch is to kind of bring awareness that severe weather is possible that day. Well, you guys already know that. You already know it's possible. So the watch really is not as helpful as a warning will be. Okay, I'm going to stop there for now. And I've got to go meet up with Tubbs and get ready for an active day today, fighting crime. So I will catch you guys coming up with an update at 1:50. And then obviously we'll have updates on our newscast this afternoon. And our alert day coverage will begin at 5 o'clock. You guys have been awesome as always. Appreciate your time. Behave yourselves, as always say. Good luck. Stay safe. And we'll see you coming up on the flip side there. I see you, Sean. Didn't see your comment until just now. I promise you, we're not ignoring you, Sean Old Schools.